Going on, guys? You're watching Flow with the Fish, and this is Flow. Today's video, we're at Decker Lake. We're trying to fish before this Arctic cold comes in, and it wasn't too bad. Got there early at nighttime or right before the sunrise. Was able to catch two fish off camera in the dark. Uh, on today's, it was a little windy, so that the wind conditions were a little tough. I had tried throwing a crankbait, tried throwing an underspin, using a jerk bait, and for some reason I wasn't getting no catches. Uh, so I went and put a Texas rig, put a ribbon tail worm on there, a dark one, and started working it slower. And sure enough, when I started doing that, I started catching fish. So this is this video of that. Again, we're at Decker Lake, also known as Walter E. Long. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, thanks for watching.
Oh, that's sweet. Trying to get this. Looks like it's about to get good. They are here. So you want up a little bit more around here? Just to see. Then we'll start throwing it. We out here at Decker, man. We already caught two fish, but it's so dark that I didn't want to have the camera recording them. But we caught two good sized fish. I'll post pictures on them. Besides that, it's nighttime.
Yeah, so right here, what I'm doing, obviously, because it's windy. I don't know if you can see on by the video that I'm throwing right here by these rocks. There's a whole side of rocks on Decker Lake, and if because it's starting to get cold, the fish do two things, right? They push up towards rocks because the rocks contain that heat, so they either push up to the rocks or hit deep. So what I was trying to do in the very beginning is I was hitting all those rocks. You know what I mean? And then I was catching there, and then right at the rocks where it hits, there's like a little piece of grass right here, and so I hit this grass and fished this grass, and then probably for the most of the video, that's what I'm doing. I'm fishing all this grass because they tuck in under that cover, working it slow with the worm, and I start catching. So here it is. A lot of times when I fish and I throw this towards this bank right here, you see where it curves right there in a little indentation. I try to throw it right at those points on the side because a lot of times those fish tend to hide right there to ambush any type of bait fish or anything that they're eating on right there. So you see that little patches of the grass. I try to throw right on the edge of those grass, just because I feel like fish would be tucked underneath there, hiding. And then if I don't target that little grass patches, where every little point, we know where it caves in and goes out. But yeah, here's this catch right here. Yeah, so you can see this video is moving real fast. Again, like I said before, we're targeting all this grass patch right here. Uh, we're trying to hit any indentions, any coves, little coves that are made, and then if I see any patches of grass, I'm just throwing right on the edge. I have that ribbon tail worm. I'm working it real slow. I'm bouncing it off the top, let it sit for a little bit, and go. What I used to do a lot, I was working it real fast, but when it gets cold like that and they're at the bottom, you got to tend to slow it down. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm slowing it down, waiting for that bite. Another thing here is that Decker Lake or Walter Long, it's known to have a lot of grass, right? It'll have a lot of grass. I'm pretty sure now that the winter coming and stuff like that's gonna kill it. But so a lot of people ask me like, what weight do I use? And I usually, whenever I would think the fish would be on top, I would use a lighter weight, right, like a 1/8 weight on the Texas rig, just so it could sit on the top of that grass. But now that I know that it's colder and I know that the fish are pushing deep, um, I use a 1/4 ounce weight. You know, some people use 3 ounce weight, 1/2 ounce weight. Me personally, I like the way the 1/4 ounce weight. It feels good in my hand. It feels good when I throw it. It covers a lot of distance. So in this particular video, I'm using a Texas rig with a 1/4 ounce weight, 9-inch ribbon tail worm, and I have a stopper on there, and it just helps that fish go down. The reason why I use a ribbon tail worm, because obviously it's a worm, so it can slide in and out of those grass, you know, real smoothly. And then of course I use a 9-inch, just because of the fact. See, here we go, we catch another one. Just because of the fact that tail gives it a long presentation, so the fish sees that tail moving left and right, you know what I mean, and you know, kind of catches their eye to get them. But again, this is what I'm doing here. Same old thing. I'm fishing that bank, letting that worm drop to the bottom, working it slowly, trying to grab that attention, and caught us off another one. So
Early release.
ain't nothing like a quick release, just like you saw that fish there. When you see me on that board like this, because I'm doing online tournaments, right? I use Fishing Chaos app, and it has a lot of tournaments on there. So anytime you see me with the boards, because I'm measuring and taking a picture for that tournament. So right here, you're gonna see when I hook set, I kind of use my hand to help me hook set this fish. The reason why I did that is because the fi- the fish had bit so much far at a different angle than I was at. You know what I mean? So I couldn't really hook set them like I usually do. And so because it was such at a weird angle and it was kind of like sideways to me, you know, I used my other hand to help me hook set that fish. That's why it looked a little different. But yeah, man, as you can see that today the fish were biting. They were they were active, not as active as they have before in the past, just because you know the cold front's coming in. But and what's really blows my mind on this video is that I didn't catch any fish on a crankbait or a swim bait, which is usually what you typically throw. You know, when they start getting cold, because they're chasing that shad or the fin shad, whatever that they have in that water. You know what I mean? So you want to mimic that style. And in the past, if you go look at some of the other videos, I mean, there was a video where I caught like 50 fish in 2 days, just all on crankbait. You know what I mean? But for you know, for whatever reason this time, you know, they preferred a worm. They preferred it slowed down. They wanted a little bit finesse, and we got the job done. And then now we're coming back, going back towards the boat dock. So now I'm hitting these rocks again, where I said where the rocks hold a lot of the heat, so the fish tend to be by the rocks. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. What's crazy about this particular fish that it was a freshwater drum. Um, it's weird because I don't think I've ever caught in a freshwater drum on a worm. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I think I've done it on a crawl. I know that they like the live crawl bait. You know what I mean? Uh, so it was weird that I caught this drum, but it was cool. It was definitely a great fight. I've never caught a drum like that before on the worm here. So it was definitely a great feeling. Just definitely weird, but just goes to show you that on any day, you know, you can catch any species here. So yeah, there it is. There's the freshwater drum right there.